And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Come on, everybody. Here we go.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Hello, boys! I'm back!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Film Box Podcast, the greatest movie podcast on the face of the earth. If I do say so myself, I'm your host, Aaryn Souza, and I'm joined today by the usual... Oh, wait, it's not the usual crew. What? It's just Connor.
Sorry to disappoint.
Oh, Sam is off on vacation in another country.
Undisclosed location.
Yeah, undisclosed location. So it's just the two of us this week, but that's all right. We've got an amazing episode today. We're going to be ranking some movie cliches, which I think is going to be pretty fun.
Oh, yeah, I can't wait.
Pretty fun. Oh, yeah. But first, before we get into that, as usual, we got to talk about what we've been watching lately and what are you drinking, Connor?
We're back, baby.
We're back.
We're not recording this, but Franny's is back. Both of us got one.
Double Franny's.
You still on the Paloma?
Yeah, I still got the Paloma. It's not bad.
What's your rank them for me?
Out of the ones I've tried, so the lemonade one I think would be at the top.
I love the lemonade one.
Lemonade's really good.
Mm-hmm.
So 1 lemonade, then 2 probably Paloma, and then 3 I think is going to be orange.
Really? The blood
And
orange?
Yeah, I like the blood orange. And then 4 is going to be ginger ale, and then last is going to be the vanilla.
Oh.
I know. I'm just not a big vanilla cream kind of guy.
Breaking my heart. I think
I know.
I would go cream soda 1, closely followed by lemonade. And then I haven't tried the ginger ale. I've tried like their black cherry.
Yeah, I haven't tried that one yet.
That was good. I don't like Paloma. I don't like blood orange. So
interesting.
And then I also have.
I'll have to try the black cherry. Yeah, I have a water.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, what have you been watching lately? It's been a bit of a short week since we last recorded, I think. But
yeah, I've watched a grand total of 2 movies since we've last recorded. I watched The Greatest Hits, and I rewatched Late Night with the Devil, because that's on VOD now.
Nice.
Because I saw your review just on Letterboxd on it. And you weren't
the full review is coming soon.
Yeah.
By the way,
you weren't a big fan of the ending.
Right, I wasn't.
At what point did it lose you? Because it lost me at a certain point too.
Yeah, so obviously, spoilers. If you don't want to hear, if you want to watch the Greatest Hits before, pause this, go watch it. It's on
good.
Hulu. Come back. It's good. I liked it a lot.
I liked it a lot too.
So I'll give the audience 2 seconds here.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi.
Okay. So the point that it lost me is when, instead of being like, oh, I just need to accept, like, she has this re-injury, and I was hoping that would kind of be like, oh, she can't go back in time anymore. Now she has to come to accept what her present is, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Instead of I know how to fix this, I'm just gonna go all the way back in time and erase everything that ever happened. Because it's like the whole movie is building up like, okay, yeah, tragedy happened, but we learned to move on and accept, even though it did happen, life still goes on, and we still are here, and it's about enjoying what we have now and learning to move forward. And it was like that message all through the movie, and then it's like, okay, but we're gonna make sure all of that just never happens, and here's a whole new start.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on.
See, I didn't mind that, because I was like, you know what? It's better for both people because, spoiler alert, her boyfriend died in the beginning.
Yeah.
And has the ability to, if she hears a song, go back in time to when she first heard that song. So when she went back, I was like, that's brutal. That's just...
It hurts.
It hurts so bad. But actually, you know what? The scene that hurt the most was when she was getting passionate with the other guy and she accidentally hit the radio and went back to another time she was getting passionate with her former boyfriend. And she immediately is like, no, I can't be here. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh. That was her being like, I need to be back in the present.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was really building up that kind of great message of moving on and moving forward through tragedy and grief. I just wish they landed a little bit better than they did.
Yeah, my thing was, I think once they cut to black, I think that's where it should have ended. I think we should have been allowed to just like soak that ending in and make assumptions like, oh, like, does he still live? Does he still die? Does she and David meet up again? I felt like would have been fine not seeing it.
Yeah. Otherwise, though, the movie was really unique. I love the music. I love the idea of it. It was good. I mean, the acting was solid for the most part.
Superman's in it.
But yeah, no. Superman's in it, so there you go. All right. Anything? Oh, you also watched... Yeah, you said you watched...
Late Night with the Devil again.
That's the one.
Man. That movie is so good. I want David Desmalchian to be... He's becoming kind of like a horror staple.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
I need him to lead more. I don't need him to be just like a side character. He's got to be the guy.
Yeah. It's funny. Em asked me a question the other day that really kind of stuck out to me. And it was which actor is always in a movie, is never like the main guy in a movie, but you see him in a movie and you're like, yeah, I like it. I'll watch it. I'm in. It's like not like a known dude, not like a leading star. And I feel like he's one of those guys that's like,
is one.
You see him, it's like, yeah,
I'm in for a treat. I feel like the answer though is Jesse Plemons.
Oh yeah.
Like when you see him,
you haven't seen Civil
movie,
War, but
I will be seeing it. But yeah, it's like once you see him, it's like, oh yeah.
I forget what my answer was. I had a couple answers that I thought were really good. I just don't remember them off the top of my head. But I'm sure if I looked back far enough at my my diary, I could remember who it was I was talking about. But
yeah, there's a good bunch of them.
But yeah, anyways, all right. So I have seen 3 movies since the last time we podcasted. Actually, technically 3.5 because I was watching 10 Things I Hate About You today while I was working, which was just so feel good. And I haven't finished it yet, but I'm going to get back to. I'm going to finish it probably later on.
Every time I hear I can't take my eyes off you in the car with my girlfriend, I'm like, we got to watch the movie.
Has she ever seen it?
She has not. It's on our watch list together.
So good. And then I saw Greatest Hits, like we were just talking about. I had the opportunity to see We Grown Now early, before its full release, or limited release technically. So that review will be coming out probably this weekend as well. That was also really good. Tough watch about African American people growing up in the projects of Chicago, seen through the eyes of like 8-year-olds or 10-year-olds or something like that, which is really an interesting perspective. And of course, had to finish off 2 good movies with Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scar Giver, which I had the opportunity to see early because of Netflix. Trash can is what I have to say.
I
Now that the embargo is lifted,
wanted to give
trash can.
Snyder like the benefit of the doubt. It's so like frustrating to hear him be like, well, you wait for the director's cut because there's so much sex and blood and boobs and stuff in it.
Don't even get me started, dude. It's insulting to release a product. I wrote in my review. I literally wrote this in my review. It's like going to McDonald's and saying, hey, can I get a Big Mac? And the server gives you bread and cheese and says, don't worry, come back in 3 weeks and we'll give you the rest of the bread. I promise you, it's going to be so much better. There's so much more to it. It's going to be so good, but this is what you got now. And it's like, fuck you, dude. That's insulting.
Yeah.
Like, it was one thing when you had the Batman v Superman or
Like
the Justice League
the studio really like meddled.
Right, there was serious, but if you're going into a project and saying, okay, well, we got this cut and then we got my cut, it's like, go fuck yourself, really.
Just food for thought. What about making like a good movie the first try?
Yeah, or like every other director has constraints around runtime, and no other director has this issue. Like, there's no doubt that the man loves cinema. He loves movies, loves it, and I can credit him for that. But is directing really the place? Because you just can't seem to get a movie in under 3.5 hours.
Yeah, which is a shame because it sounds like everyone he works with like likes him. Seems like a good guy to work for. He's not gonna scream at you like other directors will, but I don't love his style, but he definitely has a style.
It's a style. Yeah, and
Sometimes
he has fans
nice.
of that style.
Yeah, sometimes it's really cool. Other times
it was not in Rebel Moon, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's just like watching the Justice League and it's like, man, we don't need like 6 slow-mo shots of like Wonder Woman just like spinning around.
There was one sequence in Rebel Moon Part 2 that I was like, holy shit, this is actually really good. It was all of the plot on the King's Gaze, which is like the one of the like dreadnought type ships for the Mother World or the Empire. That whole sequence was really good, but it was also the least Snyder of the whole movie. Like, there was minimal slow-mo. The action was well done. It felt good. It felt like good old sci-fi. And I was like, yes, now do this the rest of the movie. Because it's like, as soon as we got to any sort of like solo fighting, it just all slow-mo. And the choreography was really bad too, but that's neither here nor there. Also, I mean, spoiler for Rebel Moon Part 2 if you haven't seen it already.
Or just don't.
Watch it. Or don't.
Or don't.
Honestly, don't. You don't have to. But after the first one, have you seen the first one?
No. When I was
Okay.
pondering it, but then once I heard him say like, "Oh, if Rebel Moon was in theaters, it would have outsold Barbie." Like,
Yeah, fuck that. No.
And so now I'm going out of my way to not.
Yeah. Well, there's this robot character in the first one that's introduced in the first one. He's like a robot programmed to serve this empire. Actually, not the empire. It's called the Mother World. And he gains like independence and sentience and like disobeys and goes on his own. And it was really cool, but really underutilized. And it was like, okay. And I'm pretty sure Snyder himself said, oh, just wait till the next one. You just wait till Part 2. He's in it a lot more. I promise. I was like, yeah, okay, cool. Let's see it. Part 2 comes out, 4 scenes. And
Probably
two of them were him. 2 of him were just like a 10-second shot of him staring at nothing, like staring off into the distance in the Snyder hero shot. And then one of them was like a mini dialogue scene. And then one of them was a fucking Deus Ex Machina.
We'll get to that
at the end. And I was like, really?
Well, I feel like because I've seen the trailers for it, and they're putting him front and center.
Yeah, no, he's literally in it for like 2 minutes.
the trailer is all of his scenes, pretty much. Look at him shoot a gun.
Literally. He had one, whatever. All right, I'm done talking about Rebel Moon Part 2. It's giving me a headache.
I'm glad we've both had movies that come out this year that have given us headaches.
All right, we've got. We didn't do our 30 positive movies, so let's do that. It's 30 positive movies this week. The movie with the biggest twist. Connor, what you got?
So, I want to give a shout out to Crazy Stupid Love, because the twist that's the one with Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone. Even though we know that, like, we know what's gonna happen, the twist of Steve Carell finding out that Ryan Gosling is dating his daughter
it's so good.
After establishing that he is like a player, he's a womanizer, is hilarious.
Yeah.
And then that whole scene is just perfection. But my favorite plot twist, it's one of my favorite movies, Malignant.
Interesting.
So if you're not aware, first off, go watch it. But it's been out for a while, so I'm just gonna say it's spoiler. It's about like this serial killer who's like killing people related to a medical case, and it turns out that the protagonist and the killer are the same person, but it's a conjoined twin situation. So the killer,
interesting.
Yeah, the killer is able to like lock her out of her body and go on like killing sprees, and it's awesome. It's a great reveal.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. You should watch it.
Yeah, I will at some point, I'm sure. Maybe when it gets closer to horror season.
It's always horror season, baby.
Nah. Horror has its own season. All right, I've got two choices. I'm going to go with the first one, the most obvious one. It's Empire Strikes Back. Luke, I Am Your Father is one of the greatest movie twists of all time. Actually, technically, the line is "No, I am your father," but
Actually,
I gotta say, there's a game show. So I don't know if you've ever heard of Dropout, or College Humor.
Yes.
Yeah. So College Humor became Dropout, which is they kind of do like a whole bunch of like skits and game shows, and they do Dungeons and Dragons actual play. It's a cool thing. But they have a game show called Actually. And the whole thing about the game show is it's like a nerdy game show about trivia, where the point of the game is there is something, the host reads a fact about a piece of, nerd culture, and they with something wrong in it, and the players have to identify what's wrong in the trivia. And they buzz in and say, actually. And,
it's like Jeopardy.
And they give the response. It is. It's like Jeopardy. And it's awesome. I love watching it. So there's a shout out to Actually. It's great. All right. And okay. So my number one pick, though, it's a movie that really kind of, like, for a while was one of my more favorite movies that I had seen. And that is The Prestige.
Ah, yes.
If you haven't seen The Prestige, the twist at the end of The Prestige, spoiler alert.
It's the last spoilers this episode.
Yeah, that I think was it Hugh Jackman's character?
I thought it was Christian Bale.
It might have been Christian Bale. It's one of those two.
I haven't seen the movie.
The whole movie's about like 1800s magicians, rival magicians. Mm-hmm. And the twist is for their big trick, where the character is drowned in water and escapes. And the twist at the end is that he had been cloning himself the whole time, and so was actually dying in the thing of water, and coming back as one of the clones, or that one of the clones was taking his place, which is a really cool twist.
It was Hugh Jackman.
Totally out of nowhere. Yeah, it was Hugh Jackman. And that was like the whole idea of the movie was like the tricks the magic tricks kept getting bigger and bigger scale, and Christian Bale was trying to figure out how he was doing this trick. He's like, oh my God, this is unbelievable, whatever. How does he do it? And the twist is that he was actually dying and coming back as a clone of himself. And there were just like hundreds of clones buried underneath his place. So pretty cool. All right. Before we get into the tier list, we got a couple pieces of news to cover.
Yeah.
So we go fairly quick. I know there's one that I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm. So,
which is the Tarantino one. I don't know if you want to do that one first or not.
Yeah. So we'll start with some directing news. So Quentin Tarantino, he's been very vocal about having a 10 movie limit. He wants quality over quantity. So he had planned The Movie Critic, to be his final movie. It was supposed to take place in the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood universe with Brad Pitt as Cliff Booth, but he has since canceled that. And he is still pondering what his 10th movie will be. Which I get it. Some people, you want to have a code that you want to stick up to. Just make more than 10 movies.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because I think the whole 10 movie limit is really stupid. And like the whole reasoning behind like you want to, make sure that you go out like quality over quantity. I just want to run through because I actually have it pulled up. 3 famous directors.
I was going to try to find this list too.
Got it. I got 3. So we got 3 famous directors: Martin Scorsese, Steven Spielberg, Ridley Scott. All right. 3 of the more famous directors to ever do it. If Martin Scorsese had quit after 10 movies, we would have never gotten The Last Temptation of Christ, Goodfellas, Casino, Gangs of New York, The Departed, The Wolf of Wall Street, The Irishman, or Killers of the Flower Moon. None of those would exist if he decided to just stop at 10 movies. Steven Spielberg, if he had stopped at 10 movies, we never would have gotten Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Hook, which is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but
I don't remember
never would have gotten Jurassic Park or Schindler's List. No Saving Private Ryan. No Catch Me If You Can. No Lincoln.
Yeah.
No Ready Player One. No West Side Story. None of those. And finally, just because I wanted to have 3 examples, if Ridley Scott had never done or had stopped at 10, we never would have gotten Gladiator, Black Hawk Down, or American Gangster. So
it's just like he's 61. That that is on the older side, but I mean Scorsese's out here just
he's in his 80s,
and we'll get to him in a bit. No, not slowing down one bit. So I don't know. I feel like he needs to just get rid of that arbitrary number.
Just make what you want to make, my guy.
Exactly. The thing is too, it's funny because like Alex Garland, who directed Civil War, came out like after he was like, I think I'm done. Like I just don't have this passion anymore. And then like immediately he was like, actually I take that back. I will be making more movies. I feel like if you're passionate about it, have at it. If you have something else planned though, by all means, stop when you want. I'm a big proponent of stopping on your own terms and not like if he like puts out some bombs in a row and it's like I just don't got it anymore. That's so much worse than just being like I'm going out on top.
Yeah. You're putting a lot of undue pressure on this is my last movie. after this, I am done forever.
Exactly.
Like, that's a lot. And I think, too, what I've seen a lot of people say, and I think it makes sense, is that, like, he really wanted Once Upon a Time in Hollywood to be his last movie, and now he regrets not making it his last movie. Because he hasn't made anything since Once Upon a Time in Hollywood in 2019.
Yeah.
And now he's canceled his quote-unquote last movie, which was going to take place in that same universe. I mean, I don't know, man.
I think that's the thing. Once you decide that this is going to be your last, it'll never be good enough. Because you'll just be like, oh, but what if I wanted to do this? What if this is better?
Yeah, right. Yep.
But
true.
Moving on. Some directing, some bad news. So Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis, I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
He can't find a backer for it.
Someone will buy it.
Someone will, and this is old news. There's something I wanted to talk about last time, but I kind of forgot. Like, it had screenings and people were saying it was too experimental. And I wanted to throw this one in there as well. So Catherine Bigelow is no longer directing Aurora for Netflix because under Dan Lin over at Netflix, they're more interested in making audience-friendly films and not, experimental films, which is
audience friendly, aka your run-of-the-mill crappy
Great.
comedies and actions.
Yeah, your most like AI generated, like here's the Gray Man, here's Extraction. People will like that.
Yep.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It because it's art losing out.
Yeah.
Because
Every time I see a good Netflix indie, I get so mad that they spend so much money on the bad generic crap that
it's
they
like
do.
The Hitman coming out. Like that, every person who has seen that movie has said this needs to be in theaters, but it's Netflix and they went out, so now they're just gonna drop it on Netflix
Whenever.
It's like with Monkey Man, how that movie was originally going to be on Netflix, but then Netflix also got cold feet about it, so they were just going to scrap the entire movie in general. Until I think it was Universal picked it up. And thank God it did, because that's like the best non-Dune 2 movie I've seen this year.
Interesting.
But
the best non-Dune 2 movie.
Listen, it's kind of like we gotta see who's second at this point.
Yeah.
Yep. So I brought him up. Scorsese's got two films up his sleeve. He's got Leo DiCaprio cast as Frank Sinatra in a biopic he's directing. Jennifer Lawrence is going to be Ava Gardner, Sinatra's second wife, which let them cook.
I like it.
And
yeah, I like that.
He also is apparently down between Andrew Garfield and Miles Teller for his Jesus movie. And I am
interesting.
With everything good in this world, give me Andrew Garfield as Jesus. Are you kidding me?
I know. He was already in Silence. So.
Exactly. Like, he could do it. He's got the long hair. Last directing news, Spielberg is directing a UFO movie based on his own idea, which...
Interesting.
I'm curious. Definitely curious.
We'll see how many of these actually come to fruition.
Oh, yeah.
This is never a guarantee, but...
Yeah. And now we got some pretty crappy news. AI just will not go away. So I brought it up with Late Night with the Devil in my review that they used AI to create some like cutaway pictures. Literally, there's 3 of them. It's the most simple thing to just have an artist craft up for you. But no, they went the cheap way, and now the film is just icky. And
It's got a taint to it.
well, heyo. A24 did not learn a single lesson from that because they created AI generated posters for Civil War. And
they tried to explain it away with like, this is what it would be like if an actual war, like they wanted to tap into that sort of like feeling of uneasiness, or I don't know, whatever. It felt a little bullshitty to me.
Don't go
and
to
I
war
love
because-
A24, but my guys, you kind of messed it up on that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, I this is a tweet I bookmarked. It was from ecto_fun on X. People need to realize that A24 is a billion-dollar company. They aren't your cool friends. The owner came from a movie financing group and a wealth asset management firm. If they can save a buck with this dumb garbage, they're gonna. Which
Yeah, I mean, I like to think people have a good relationship with A24 in their heads because
they were the ones during the strikes to be like, we accept your demands, actors and writers.
And not only that, but they give indie a chance.
Yeah.
Like, they take indie movies with unique ideas and say, we'll give you a platform. We'll spend the money to make sure that you have,
Tell your
the
story.
publicity that you deserve. Which I respect a ton because we have way too much of the generic. I mean, we have one coming out this week of the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. It's just another generic Guy Ritchie action film. It's like, and I've already heard not so good things. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've not heard that it's very good. But it's like this slop that just keeps getting pushed out, and you have a studio who's like, no, we want artists with unique takes on things that are gonna create unique pieces of art. And that's cool, but also, guys, you messed up here. You really did.
Yeah. Not to be outdone though in shittiness, Netflix was like, we see you, A24. How about we use AI in a documentary to completely change facts about the person in question?
Yeah.
So, it was from the documentary What Jennifer Did. And apparently, they used AI-generated images to make Jennifer be happy and confident before she was convicted of murder, which I haven't seen this documentary. I don't care for true crime. I think, hot take, if you love true crime, something's off with you.
Yeah.
But what are we doing? This is a documentary.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, if like A24 and Late Night at the Devil were like taking candy from a baby, Netflix took the candy and then shot the baby and said, it's your fucking fault. You did this to me. You enabled me to do this.
They shot the baby just so the baby wouldn't cry over the candy.
Literally. It's like, guys, this is not a what are we doing, you messed up kind of thing. This is like, guys, this is bad. This is really bad.
This is maybe one of the worst things to happen.
Yeah. Literally,
Like-
it's like, what can we do with we're gonna make a documentary not true?
Yeah, because
Like, it's gonna become like like that documentary about the lemmings and how like it was like, watch the lemmings as they jump off the cliff to their death, but actually the producers are just backing a truck up to a cliff and kicking lemmings off the ledge. It's like, you're falsifying a documentary.
yeah, like this is such a dangerous precedent. Because listen, we already live in a time where people are very untrusting of information they're seeing online or in the news.
Yeah.
And you see that and you're like, okay, well this documentary about this real person we're just going to change it so we can have like a more compelling story, which it shouldn't matter.
No, not at all. It's bad. It's bad. I was, when AI was first starting to kind of get used, I was like, oh, this is really, really cool, you know? And not used in the film industry, just in general, like it was like, oh, this is really unique and cool, and I'm curious to see how this is going to help us in ways that, you know, maybe we never thought of. And now I'm like, get rid of it. Fucking, I don't care what it's for. Get rid of it.
It's really hard to think about what it could possibly be used for in like good context now. And I'm sure there's tons like automation of like mundane tasks. Sure.
Yeah.
'Cause I think Denis Villeneuve said something about them using like AI to help their artists with like repetitive tasks. And I feel like it's like, okay, it can be helpful, but then the problem is when you use it to take shortcuts. Or in this case, to make nonfiction fiction without disclosing that too. That was also the problem.
Yeah, they didn't say, hey, we changed this up. It's just like, oops,
some
we got
things
caught.
What do they normally say? Like things have been dramatized or...
I don't know.
Yeah, that's just, it's ugly.
It's a slippery slope. Yeah. Yep.
All right, but
this is what the strikes were for.
Yep, but I don't think the visual effects people ever got their strike.
Yeah, well,
hopefully soon now.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
There's no good way to pivot, but you wanna do some tiering?
Yeah, let's tier list. We've been talking about AI for long enough. Let's do a tier list of movie tropes. All right. So, like I said at the top, we got a tier list for we're gonna be ranking movie cliches, movie tropes. So Connor, why don't you run us through our tiers and then we'll jump into it.
All right, so our top tiers, I eat it up every time. Give it to me, I will take it with a smile. Hey yo. All right, below that, all right, you cheeky scalawags. Like, all right.
I like that.
All right. Next, I don't care. Below that, oh brother. And patent pending pee pee poo poo tier.
Yes, gotta have it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's jump into it.
All right, first up we got bad villain aim, the stormtrooper effect, if you will.
Yeah, stormtrooper aim. I know it's like, oh, we're starting our tier list. This is one of the ones that I just don't care either way. It's like you have it, you don't have it. As long as it's not like horrid, it doesn't bother me.
If it's like plot armor type, like bad aim, yeah, I don't care about it.
I will say though, there are some instances where just aim in general is like, this is so stupid. Like, I'm gonna go back to again, Rebel Moon Part 2 is just, it just drives me up a wall. But like there's two scenes in the movie. One where the big bad guy, Admiral Noble, jumps into a trench with a bunch of the good guys who are trying to shoot at him. No one hits him in close quarters trench combat. He has no gun. He just hand-to-hand combats his way through the trench.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And then there was another one where it was like two groups, one group of generic bad guys and one group of generic good guys in this like underground tunnel trench area going at each other. They were probably no more than 10 feet away from each other, shooting laser guns. No one was hitting anyone. I was like, really? Like, come on.
Yeah,
Well, that's just more, that's not necessarily bad villain aim. That's just more bad movie.
That's just bad plot.
Yeah, that's just bad movie.
All right. Next up, we got hero's joke during the fight.
Love it. Absolutely
love
love it. I love it. I eat it up every time.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like Princess Diaries I just watched recently.
The
It's
Avengers.
Like, yeah.
I feel like there's certain times and places where it's good. Like nice good banter, but I like it because it's kind of like you only get it when the stakes aren't super high. Yeah, I do like it too.
Yeah.
One that I don't like, there's no time to explain. In the time it takes you to say there's no time to explain, we have to go. You could explain.
Especially when like the plot hinges on the explaining.
Oh my god. Like,
and it's like there's no time to explain. It's like yes, there is actually. There is.
I think they say it like 5 times. It's like there's no time to explain as they just walk away.
There's no time to explain. Quick, come on.
Come on, we have to leave. Why? Just say we can't be here. Pee pee poo poo.
Yeah. The more I think about it, the more I hate it.
Great symmetry right now.
Yes.
Next up, ticking clock. Basically, it's like we have 30 seconds before something happens.
Yeah,
like
before the bomb blows up.
Yeah, bomb blows up. Like, yeah. I kind of like it. I'd put in like, all right, you cheeky scalawags.
If it's done well. There are times where it's not done well. Mm-hmm. I will give an example too. In one of my favorite movies of all time, Star Wars: A New Hope. You know, the original Star Wars. Mm-hmm. They are on the attack on the Death Star. It's like the Death Star or the Rebel base will be in range in like 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. 30 minutes later, the Death Star, the Rebel base will be in range in 20 seconds. It's like, okay, guys.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like some movies they're actually good about it, and they'll be like, hey, we have 30 seconds, and then within that 30 seconds, whatever happens. Mm-hmm. When it pisses me off when there's like we got 10 seconds and then like 10 minutes of movie pass.
10
it's like
movies.
10 movies pass, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot we got 10 seconds.
Yeah, no, there are some actually. There are a couple movies, I can't remember them off the top of my head, that specifically time it out. Mm-hmm. Like, you've got 2 minutes until the bomb goes off, and then like in movie time, it's 2 minutes exactly go by. Yeah, before things happen. It's really if you do it well, it's good. Mm-hmm. If you do it bad, it's annoying.
I'll put it in all right, just because I think the good really outweighs the bad.
Yes.
Next up, I've got a bad feeling about this.
I like it.
It's all right. Like it's of no consequence really. Like when there's there's no time to explain is a punch in the face because there's always time to explain.
Yeah, I got a bad feeling about this. Is like an easy way for the filmmakers to be like, okay, something might happen. Mm-hmm. Now, whether it's gonna happen is, who knows? Mm-hmm. But like, it's like, oh, it's a cue to the audience to be like, oh, maybe you should pay attention. Yeah. Like if you're not paying attention, maybe you should like pay attention. But it's not literally looking at the camera and saying, hey, this is important.
Hey, you guys should watch.
Shit's about to go down.
Just making sure.
Or not. Or maybe not.
Yeah. Next up, we got the ugly person makeover.
Oh, brother. This is like the perfect oh, brother.
The take off those glasses and let down your hair. All of these are really good when they're done in parody. Like,
yes.
Like the one in Barbie with Ken and, I don't know the Barbie's name, but he just like comes out from underneath the car and he's like, here, let me help you. And he just takes the glasses off and he's like, wow, now you're beautiful. She's like, wow, thanks. Also, Not Another Teen movie does it so well.
Yes, it does that one. One does it good.
I fucking love that movie.
But like one of the ones that does it bad, or at least that comes to mind, is Scooby-Doo 2 with Linda Cardellini.
Oh my
who's not an unattractive woman. Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh, she's got the hair up and the glasses, and then they put some lipstick on her, put her hair down, take off her glasses, and all of a sudden, supermodel, let's go.
They put her in like what is that, leather?
Like the tightest spandex, like leather.
Just so,
Not leather. It's
I know exactly.
It's the rubber freaking
just rubber.
Yeah.
Like the type where like if you sit down it makes like that fart sound. That's a joke they use too. All right, so that was Oh Brother. Next up, the 1 billion IQ character, the smartest guy to ever exist.
It depends on how it's done for me.
Yeah, this
Like,
has,
if it's like Tony Stark-esque, I don't mind it. But if they have super smart dude who's always like, yeah, you see, this is, you know, according to my calculations, this is how it's like, get out of here with that, man.
and even it's, well, I would say this too, because it's really pissed me off with Marvel, how it's just like, oh, like Tony Stark's like the smartest guy, he's gonna figure out time travel, and then like 2 movies later, they're like, oh yeah, no,
I'm sorry. You said Tony Smarks.
Tony Smart.
Tony Smarks.
Tony Stark, he figures out time travel, which first off, fuck him for that. Second off, like everyone else is like, oh, I figured out quantum physics as a teenager. I built my own suit as a teenager.
It's like,
Spider-Man.
you know how many people there are that could do that?
None.
Not a lot.
None.
Certainly not a lot.
So I tend not to like it because I feel like it's not done well enough.
I'm more in I don't care either way.
I'm good with that.
So I'm good with, yeah.
Next up, hero and villain stop fighting to talk. This one I do like a bit. I always like when the hero and villain have like a connection. And trying to think of a good movie where it happens. But like middle of the fight, they just stop and they have a conversation.
Yeah.
I always like it. I think it's always well done.
Okay.
I might put in.
I'll give it with you. I can't think of a good example for this, so I'll trust you.
Mm-hmm. Now this one annoys me. Children talk like adults. It kind of goes along with the 1 billion character, but when it's a kid who's just so snarky, they're just like, no, I'm actually the smart one. My parents are idiots. Everyone else around me is idiots. I hate it. Mm-hmm. I hate snark so much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it just kind of is a sign of like you don't really know how kids talk.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna like, this is now a child.
This is a child.
I'd put it in Oh Brother. I wouldn't put it in. It's not as bad.
Mm-hmm. It's just annoying. Mm-hmm. Next we have the non-American villain, just any dude or woman with an accent.
The generic. Oh, so you want I'm going to blow up America. It's like, all right.
Yeah, it's
enough.
It's like, all right, we're gonna make the villain British or Russian or Middle Eastern, and that's how we'll get people on our side.
Yeah. Oh, the cartel leader is South American? Really? Shocker. Like, guys, come on. We can do better.
Yeah. I'll put in Oh Brother. I feel like it's lazy.
Yeah, I'm not about it. I honestly would rather put it in Pee Pee Poo Poo.
Honestly, I'm fine with it.
Because it is super like, no thank you. It's just,
it's lazy.
You can do better.
It's like, hey, we want to make sure that you know that this guy's bad, so we're gonna make him French.
People hate people from other countries.
It's like, I don't want to hate an American. I'm American. That means I hate myself.
That's too confusing.
Wait, I'm American. He American. I'm him.
I'm him.
I am him.
I am him.
He's literally me. All right, next up, we got unlimited ammo. Just gunfight where they just do not care to even pretend to reload.
I love the realism of like having the reloads and stuff like that, but there's just something about a dude going into a fight with a pistol, one pistol, it's like
1,000 shots off.
just a million shots. It's just, I love it. It's just so good.
But he'll mow through like thousands of like, or just hundreds of like henchmen. But once they get to like the big bad, that's when they're out, and they just didn't bring more.
Yeah, it's like click. Oh, damn it! I used all my last of my million on that last guy. No, I love it.
I was gonna say I might do a cheeky.
Yeah, I'll do cheeky. That works. Cause like I'm always like I'm thinking, I'm laughing about it now. Cause like I watch those sequences and I'm like, he's definitely out of ammo, right? And I just see him keep shooting, and man, he's really got a lot of ammo in that thing.
It's kind of like the scenes underwater where it's like, all right, you drowned.
Yeah, you're not surviving this.
Like there was a movie, I think I watched it this year. It was like the underwater plane movie, where at the end, the protagonist has to swim up from basically the bottom of a trench, and she does.
Yeah,
it's like, what are we doing? No oxygen. I guess to go right off of that. The hero drops their gun to fight hand to hand.
This makes me mad.
Yeah.
This makes me mad because everything that precedes it is hero opens a door and the villain's in front of him. And instead of shooting them with the gun, they like talk and then they fight
it's like,
hand to hand. Where it's like, if it was me in that plot, elevator door would open, I'd see the bad guy, he'd go, well, hello, bam! He'd just be dead.
Yeah, no, it's like, oh, well, let's settle this like men. We'll do this the honorable way. It's like, fuck no.
He's not even finishing that sentence. He's dead before that sentence comes out of his mouth.
Pee pee poo poo.
Yeah.
All right. Excuse me. Deus Ex Machina. Would you like to define it? Jesus Christ. Define this.
A Deus Ex Machina is an occurrence in a movie where when all hope is lost and things seem to be down and the hero is going to lose, all of a sudden from out of nowhere and unexplained, they are saved by something that is not talked about earlier, that is not, set up, it's just an out of nowhere save for the hero, basically.
Think of Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan with the shooting at the tank, and then it just blows up from a plane.
Yep. Pee pee poo poo. Shove it down there. I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Rebel Moon. I'm going to talk about Rebel Moon again.
Hate Rebel Moon.
It had two. It had two Deus Ex Machinas at the end.
I do hate it too.
There was literally a scene of like two of the heroes, two of the seven samurai, because that's what the movie is, are sitting there in front of just dozens of bad guys in a massive tank, and out of nowhere comes the robot who had been in one other scene in the movie up to that point, basically. Comes out of nowhere from the dust. The dust settles, and there he is, and he destroys everyone on that fucking everyone in front of him. Goes into the tank, blows up the tank, jumps out, runs away. I was like, all right, he's gone now. 15 minutes later, not even 10 minutes later, we've won the battle. Yeah. What's that on the horizon? It's more bad guys. 5 more tanks and hundreds of soldiers. Oh, what's that in the sky? The rebels from the last movie that haven't been in this one. Here they are now to save the day. Come in, shoot all the bad guys in their ships. The day is saved. And then they fly away. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's not good.
No, it was so bad. It was so bad. God.
Next up, we got the fake out jump scare. So, it's building to something in a horror movie. Like, someone's about to jump out at you. You hear the violin start to pick up, and then nothing.
Too much of it is lazy, but I don't really care either way.
I think when it's done like when it's done in Jesus Christ, I can't even think today. Moderation, that's the word. When it's done in moderation, it's very good. But when you are constantly like, oh, gotcha. Oh, got you again. Oh, got you again. It makes me want to put my head through a wall.
Yeah.
Another one that makes me want to put my head through a wall, a plot that is solved if they just sit down and talk.
Ugh. It's the worst. It's the worst.
It's like
the worst kind of plot.
We could have easily solved this with it's like the definition of like this could have been an email.
Yeah. For example, Anyone But You this year.
Mm-hmm.
Or last year, technically. I like the movie.
I do
okay,
like it
and they
too.
did a decent job with that plot, but it does kind of start off with,
hey,
if they had just sat down and talked and been like, hey, I only said that because you left and I didn't mean it, and you only left because you were scared and you actually came back, we're good now.
yeah.
Except that doesn't happen until the end of the movie.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where it's like, if your plot can be solved that quick, or your conflict can be solved that quick, it's not good conflict. Like, you just have to pad so much.
Yeah, it has to be like what Anyone But You does. It's not the main conflict. Like, yeah, it drives along the fact that they hate each other, but it's not the whole plot is not that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's more about the wedding and the fact that they keep messing it. Oh Brothers is a good place for it.
Yeah. It's not the worst, but it's like, come on. Like, let's try. Next up we got henchmen attack one by one instead of as a group.
Stupid.
It's so stupid.
It's stupid.
It's like, hey, it leads to some great action shots, but it's so hard to think as like an audience member, just like, you guys are getting mowed down. Have you tried just like all jumping on them at once?
It's just it's like it's especially annoying when they're armed too. Like, say it's like a sword fight and it's like one guy's clashing and he's got dudes behind him that obviously are armed, and it's like he locks blades with someone else just goes and go chink and he's dead. He's dead. He's gone.
Yeah, it's just, we'll get to something later.
We'll get there.
For it. But it's dumb. It's pee pee poo poo for me.
Yeah,
like you have to turn your brain off to think that that's a reasonable thing.
Yeah.
Next up, we got hero gets information from a dream or a vision or anything that's not reality.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. It feels lazy in the way that a Deus Ex Machina is lazy.
Mm-hmm. Like the fucking Madam Web. Just
don't even want to think about that.
Sorry. Just finding out everything by just going like, I don't even remember what she did, but then she like emerges from the water and that spider guy is just like, now you have learned everything you need. Now you are free to go. Just, it's so bad. I'll put it in Oh Brother.
Okay.
But it's not great.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Sidekick was the real villain all along.
I actually kind of like it. If it's done well, I like it.
I do like, again, when it's like a cheap action movie and they do that, not great, but I like when the villain has personality and we get to know them. Mm-hmm. And then like the reveal, I think as long as it's well done, I eat it up.
Yeah, right. Like if there's a proper reason for the fake out, or like you come to like really like that character and it's like, oh my God, like this is, that's heart wrenching.
That big twist. Again, Love it.
Yes.
Next up, talking about having a family and then immediately dying. So you're like, man, I got a wife and
Why
kid.
is everything relatable to Rebel Moon? Oh my god.
I'm sorry. It's Zack Snyder. his scripts are just like, well, what if? What if I have them talk?
It's the when you've been tasked with putting every cliche in a script and your opponent is Zack Snyder.
It's draw 100 cards or write a unique story. Fuck.
It's that meme of the guy of the 2 lanes on the highway, and it's like, if you go left, it's left is an original story, right is use every trope known to man, and it's just just speeding.
But I think
because literally this is in the movie too, of like they have a whole scene in the middle of the second movie where everyone stands around and talks about their backstory, and they're like, I finally have a place in this world. Dead.
Oh yeah, it's like got a wife and kids at home. I love them so much. It would be awful if something bad happened to me. Oh, bullet through the head.
Or like how this is their new family. Like I was a loner before, but now I really feel like I found a family. I found my people. You guys show me what family's really like. That guy has a target on his back.
Oh,
he is dead.
I forgot to add it too, but like the group, like when it's a group of people coming together and they say that you guys are my family.
Yeah. Well, I feel like that kind of relates. I would put that in with this one.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah.
I think it's like so overdone. It's funny. It's like.
Yep.
Man, why?
Yeah, it is pretty funny because you can always spot it too. Like, oh, he's dead. See ya.
It's
gone.
It's the I'll be right back from like horror movies.
It's the meme of Leo from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's like, whoop, there it is. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah,
he's the one.
It's like I'll be like I'll watch a movie and I'll just like be like looking at something else and I hear that I'm like, all right, well, let's see how you die. I'll put it in I don't care either way. Actually, you know what?
I'm fine with that.
I might even bump it up to Cheeky Scalawags.
Oh, okay. The more we've been talking about it, the funnier it is.
Exactly. It's so funny because it's like 100% effective. Next up, it's the zoom in there. Enhance.
I hate. It's not how pictures work. They can't create pixels.
You can't enhance a picture.
Well,
Zoom in
it's
on that
literally
face.
like, and it's always here's this grainy, pixelated, just CCTV camera footage.
Yeah.
Wait, is that the bat? Zoom in and enhance on that, and it's like zooms in and enhance, and it's all of a sudden a 4K image of this guy's face, and it's like it wasn't. You can't just create pixels like that. You can't just create unless you're using AI upscaling. But in that case, you can't. It's his head is 1 pixel.
Yeah, and you know too,
pixel.
it's always so far out. It's like zoom in, stop, enhance.
Yeah.
It's like
here's an entire city block. Wait,
it's a 10x zoom. It's like, oh, I can see. I can see he has earwax in his left lobe.
Oh,
brother. Because honest to God, that's my honest reaction. It's just, oh, brother.
Oh, I was like, oh my god. It doesn't make me like irrationally angry, but it does. It is funny. It's like stupid funny.
I might put it in like I don't care, just because we were talking about that with.
No, it's
family.
oh brother. It's oh brother.
It is oh brother. Just because I don't get any enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the immortal slasher killer. They always come back in the.
I'm good with it.
I eat it up.
Oh, yeah. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I do eat it up. It does help.
I know it's just for sequel purposes, but like, I like it because you got to get creative. Next, one we were talking about before show. Villain monologues to buy the hero time instead of just killing them.
This is... It's more... I mean, you know what I'm going to say. Rebel Moon, here we are. It's literally in the... It's like... This one makes me angry because, like I said before, when it was, the fighting, they dropped their guns to fight. Mm-hmm. It's like, if I was in an elevator and I had a gun and the elevator opens and the bad guy that I've been searching for this whole time is right in front of me, I am not thinking twice. That guy is dead before he says my name.
Yeah, it's like we spent this
every
entire movie building up to this. I went through hell to even get here. I killed hundreds.
Yeah, there are dozens of unnamed dudes that I have brutally slaughtered to get to this point. I have made
so many people widows and orphans. Just to get to this point and be like, well, why?
Well, maybe I should hear him out. I don't know what he's got to say.
Maybe he's got some good points. Maybe he cooked a bit.
Yeah.
Where are you feeling?
The pee pee poo poo. It's so stupid.
It's one of these. It's just so dumb. Where it's like, come on. Another quote. We've got company. When more people.
We've got company is good.
I still like it. It's the same with I got a bad feeling about this for me.
It's like, we've got company. Fuck yeah, we do.
No shit. I can see. Just a wave. It's a wave.
One time, I want in a totally serious action movie, no parody, no nothing like that, totally serious, for someone to be like, we got company, and the other guy just like, wait, hold up. Yeah, I see that, dude. I can see them.
It's like, yeah, brother, no shit. We're being shot at.
No fucking shit.
In every direction.
Fred's dead. No shit. We've got company.
You see that plane? Yeah, I see it too. It's coming right at us. I put that in already, you cheeky scalawags.
I'm sorry. I just had
Let me hear
I had
it.
a horrible thought, but I'm gonna no. I can't. It's so bad.
You can't say that.
It's so bad. It's so bad. No, I can't. I will save it for after the pod. I can't say that. I'm sorry.
About to do a racism.
No, but it was bad.
It was on the pod.
I'll tell you after the pod.
All right, drop a tweet. Think what your guess is. What he's about to say. All right, next up is the cutting your hand to make it bleed to do anything. Like, I need to donate blood or like give blood for this to work, or like the we're blood brothers now. Your hand is like out of business for like weeks once you do that, and they just completely ignore it.
Yeah. That's like the worst place. Yeah, let me just cut my hand open, and now every time I do this,
it's
I just grip. It's just pain and blood and gushing.
And I'll put this up here too. Just like any hand wounds, when you're like someone's about to stab you and you just take it through the palm, kiss that hand goodbye.
That's not you.
First off, there's so many bones in there.
Yeah, that's gonna take a long time to heal. Like, you're fucked.
Oh yeah. But they always just play it off like, yeah, 'tis but a flesh wound. What are you feeling?
Pee pee poo poo. It's my first reaction, my gut reaction.
It's also just like, come on, why there? Just like do a little forearm scratch, or just prick your finger.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't know.
Next up, we're almost done. We're flying through these. Not making sure the killer is dead.
This one I don't care either way for me.
I don't care because it falls in the same bin as like a mortal slasher. Like, I know what it's setting up, so it's fine. But it's just like one of those things in the moments. Like, hey, you knocked Jason down. You have his machete.
Yeah.
Stab him through the head.
Just finish him off.
Cut his head off.
And it kind of comes into play a little bit like of a portion of something that's coming a little bit later.
Uh, Next up, we got hiding a fatal wound until it's convenient. You get shot in the gut, but you can power through the next 20 minutes of movie just to die an emotional death in like the hero's arms.
Yeah. Cliche. A little old brother, but I'm not terribly upset by it.
I was thinking I don't care either way, but it's more of like hey man, movies make it seem like you can get shot a lot more than you can and just like power through.
Yeah. I mean, it depends.
Yeah.
Because like I've seen it done in a few instances where it's like it's not necessarily that they hide it until it's convenient, but it's like it's not right away known. So like the good guys think they've escaped, and then all of a sudden Fred's hit. Oh shit, Fred's gonna die now because he's been hit. And like you see that in Avatar. It's in a recent movie that has just come out that's pretty actiony that I'm not going to say the name to. Not Rebel Moon, I will say.
No, I know
Not
which one
Rebel
you're
Moon.
talking about.
Where it's like, oh, and that I think is okay, but it's like, yeah, if it's drawn out too long, then yeah, it gets kind of not great. But I don't really care either way, I guess.
Me neither. Yeah, for me, I was just thinking like, okay, I got shot in the beginning of this fight. 10 minutes have passed. I'm still fighting. And then like you like lift up your shirt and it's just like gushing blood and you just fall.
Yeah, actually, you know what? It is in Rebel Moon. I'm sorry. I lied. It is.
This is like the Oppenheimer Oscars episode where it's just like you gotta start drinking every time you bring up Rebel Moon.
Dude, it is every single one of these. It's like literally like the Zack Snyder don't use a movie trope challenge.
We're picking out
level
his plot
impossible.
right now.
God.
Next up, the real love was the friend all along. Classic
Fucking
rom.
love it. I eat it up.
I eat that
it
shit up too. I love it in rom-coms.
Eat it up. Because the whole movie you're like, she's the one. He's the one. She's the one. Yeah.
Look next to you. Bonus points when it's like the friend is being super supportive too. It's like, hey, I know you're attracted to this girl, this guy. Let me help.
Yeah.
And it's not like a
it's like you a real
thing.
one, man.
Yeah, it's like thanks. Hackers, just in general.
So like let me see if I can hack into this.
I'm in.
It's like fuck off.
It's like this. It's like the scene from The Core, where it's just like, you want me to hack into the entire internet? I'm gonna need complete silence and a lot of hot pockets. It's like, oh, dude, shut the fuck up.
Oh my god, I kind of love it though. I kind of like it. Every time I see it, it's just it's like I saw on TikTok. The greatest place to watch movies is on TikTok on those random accounts that come up, and the one that's going around now is Operation Fortune from last year. And one of the scenes that I saw was in the beginning. They're like in an airport, and the hacker lady that's played by Aubrey Plaza. Her visuals get interfered with by this other rival team of spies, and she's like going through, and it's like, oh, my visual's been compromised. Give me a second. All right, it's fixed. It's like, all right.
Well, I like it with I forget which Mission Impossible it is. It's the one where he's like hanging from the plane, and I forget the actor's name. But he plays like the hacker friend.
Simon Pegg,
yes. And they're like, Benji, open the door. He's like, open, and it's the wrong door. And they're like, wrong door. I do like that one. I'll put it.
Yeah, no.
Where do you want it?
I kind of want it in all right, you cheeky scallywags.
It is.
I kind of love it.
It is.
I kind of love it. Because it's stupid enough where it doesn't take away from the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's fine and so like small that it doesn't take away from the actual movie, but it's like you see it, it's like it's pretty stupid, but I love it.
Yeah. We got You and I Aren't So Different. The villain to the hero.
You and me, you ain't so different after all, you know.
You know, Spider-Man, you and me aren't that different. Oh, brother. I'm
good with that.
There's a big difference between Spider-Man and Green Goblin.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we put on a mask. Okay, you're right. I guess we're brothers. Next up, we got Coming Out of Retirement for One Last Job.
Only, I like it, because usually it means like, I mean, it can be a fun movie, but I hate it when it's like, okay, but we're gonna have another movie where he's gonna come out of retirement again for
Yeah,
one
it
last
has to be a
job.
one movie thing.
Yeah, like this is it. Like if you're gonna use this, that's it. That's the end. You can't be like he's coming out of retirement for one last job. Next movie, we got to get him out of retirement again. We need him for another job.
Team, so he's still here. I'll put I don't know, either I Don't Care or
I'm good with I Don't Care.
yeah, I don't, because it's definitely not on the same tier as the other Scalawags, but it's not as bad as the Old Brother.
Yeah, no, it's not.
All right, training montages.
Training
love 'em.
montages are fun. Yeah, I like them.
Especially, I think Creed has like the best training montage.
Yeah.
That's the one my brain, like obviously all the Rocky movies kind of made it famous, but Creed's so good. I still listen to the
A good training
soundtrack.
montage is a good training montage is pretty decent.
This is the one that I was referencing a bit earlier. Stupid for the sake of the plot. This is one that you
mainly
wanted.
seen in horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, I hate, so either the character or the story is stupid because it needs to satisfy a plot. But again, Rebel Moon, it's there. Drink to that. So yeah, it's so bad that it's been parodied on commercials. Do you remember that commercial where I think it was the insurance one?
It's definitely insurance
Where
where
it's
they're
like
like they're hiding from
they're
like
hiding.
the chainsaw killer,
like-
and they're like, should we go to
Why
the
don't we
car?
get in the running car?
It's like, what are you, dumb? Let's hide behind the wall
No.
of knives.
Yeah. It's like, it's just so stupid.
It's like, yeah, I put it in
It-
pee pee poo poo because it's the most frustrating thing.
Yeah. But also, like, a ton of horror, especially, would never happen if the characters weren't stupid.
Oh my
Like,
God,
It comes
The
to mind.
Evil Dead.
The Evil Dead comes to. Yes. Yes.
Cheers.
Yes. Cheers to that. Hey, guys. Novel thought. Don't read the book.
This book
Don't
bound
read
in
it.
like human skin in Latin. Maybe pass.
And you hear a guy say, "Do not read this, no matter what."
No matter what.
Maybe you just don't read it.
Well, that's why I liked in Evil Dead Rise. They're just like, they found like tapes that played the book, so it's better than the. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna read this book. But even and I guess the Evil did kind of make the tapes play on their own, so they couldn't stop it. But even then, it's like, hey man, maybe turn them off.
Yeah.
All right, last
All
up,
right. Last one.
The Gay Best Friend.
Love it.
I honestly,
I
I
am-
do too.
Yeah, it's great.
Well, especially because
We thought of this because
fresh
of
in our
the
minds.
greatest hits. Yeah.
bonus points when they are terrible at romance themselves.
Yeah, and it's just great. Like, even in Mean Girls, like the new one and the old one, the gay best friend in that, it hits. It slaps. You know, that trope slaps.
I definitely like it more when it's like the whole characters. The point of the character is not just okay, gay. You are gay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, okay, they're a friend who just happens to be gay.
Right.
I love that.
But those characters also usually have the funniest lines too.
Oh yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, I definitely like it a lot.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
That'll do it for this very extended tier.
Yeah, no, this was a fun one. This episode ran a little bit longer than I was expecting, but no, this one was really fun. So yeah, we're gonna finish out this episode. Connor, first off, before I get into the ending, do you have a sticky note?
I do have a sticky note.
Okay, all right. So let me do the ending then. If you like this episode, leave a rating, leave a review, subscribe, share it with your friends, all that fun stuff. It really helps us out. You can check out our Twitter at the Filmbox Pod on Twitter for more stuff, or also honestly check out our at least my own Twitter. I'm trying to tweet a little bit more frequently about stuff that I'm seeing, stuff that I'm reviewing, that sort of thing. And you can check out our website, pressplaymag.com, for reviews and articles and stuff like that. Our Letterboxd as well. So you, Connor, me, and Sam, we can see what we're watching when we're not podcasting or reviewing or whatever, and keep up to date before you listen to the episodes. So yeah, Connor, what numbers we got? What am I picking 2 numbers here?
You're gonna pick 2. I need to. So last
All right.
week it was Dr. Strangelove and A Streetcar Named Desire. We got five options.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 1 and 4.
All right, I shall be watching Before Sunrise and
Fuck yeah.
Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf.
Okay, I like that. Was Lord of the Rings on this list?
It was number 2.
Fuck! I almost did number 2. Damn it.
Honestly, just because Sam's not here, I might just watch it. Just cause.
Oh! Don't put... Sam's not gonna hear this.
We're gonna
because he's still gonna be on vacation.
Just bleep my mouth. Or
don't say anything. Don't say anything. Don't put it on Letterboxd. Just
I'm
we
not gonna
record next.
I'm not putting it on Letterboxd. Let's see if he listens.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's see if he's gonna listen to an hour 20, just to get to an hour 21, just to hear that.
Yep. Oh man, you got to do it now. That'd be so good. All right,
Absolutely.
That's gonna do it for this episode of the Filmbox podcast. We will see you next time.
Adios, amigos.